Oh my god, a legendary that finally has a freaking theme that's not from a spin-off. Welcome back, everybody, to the Pokemon Marathon.
Yay.
And now for my favorite Pokemon's movie. Luckily, I don't have to be biased. This is very mid-tier.
Yeah. It's very middle of the pack for the Pokemon movie so far.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not fantastic.
It's also very aimless. It's slightly aimless.
Yeah, it's a little all over the place.
The story?
Like, I guess, darn, I forgot his name. Main character.
Tori?
Tori.
I like how we say that main character when, like, Ash isn't even here.
Main character of this specific movie. Other than Ash.
So, Tori.
Yeah, Tori. So he has like PTSD from like Pokemon and stuff. And then he has
That's
to, like,
an interesting concept.
Yeah. He like an okay job of having a character arc of him learning to trust Pokemon. It's fine.
Yeah. Where it's like clearly they didn't really do much on how PTSD works. But it's like, it's okay. It's fine, I guess. It's an interesting concept at the most.
Yeah.
And then, and from that PTSD, we also have aliens.
Yeah, because I guess like Deoxys showed up and then Rayquaza got mad and was like, "Get out of my
Get the fuck out of outer space!"
Rayquaza's just like, "Get off my lawn," because he's an old grandpa.
An old grandpa with a Kamehameha.
Yeah, so he just like blows up Deoxys, and then Deoxys regenerates for 4 years, and then decides he wants to find his other friend who's also Deoxys. So he goes on to find Deoxys, so then Rayquaza finds out that he didn't completely decimate that guy who was on, the obnoxious kid who was on his lawn, so he flies halfway across the world to murder him again. I don't know what the frick is going on!
Rayquaza is fucking hilarious in this. Where I'm just imagining him being so fucking pissed off.
He's literally a grandpa who's so mad about the kid getting on his lawn that he flies across the Atlantic Ocean to
go
shoot
beat him with a shotgun. To go shoot him.
That's literally what it feels like. It's so funny.
Yeah, Deoxys fucks up a town. Everyone has to make sure on what's going on, and then they figure out he's just trying to find the other Deoxys. And then they power that Deoxys up.
And then Rayquaza just shows up and starts smashing things. And then he accidentally activates the security system, I guess. And everybody's in trouble now because of the security system. And then they have to disable the security system, I guess. And
the end?
The end. I don't know.
This story is incredibly aimless. Where it's like we have a story arc about PTSD. We have a story arc about aliens. We have a story arc about old grandpa with a shotgun. We have a story arc about security system. Because of all that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the biggest weakness of this movie is it just tries to do too many things at once.
Where it's like, pick something and stick with it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I feel like they had a cool concept here. They just had no idea how to end it. Where it's like they can't really end it at the Deoxys meeting each other because it's like, oh, we saved the other Deoxys. It leaves. The end. We can't have it where it's just Rayquaza getting beaten the shit out of because that's just kind of odd because he's not a villain or anything. So they were like, it's Deoxys EMPs screw up the security system. And they're the villains. And then Deoxys saves Rayquaza from the security system, so they're friends now.
I guess.
They apologize for the ball in his window. So he heads back home.
So on the one hand, Rayquaza is so mad about the kids on his lawn that he flies all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to get revenge. But then they just apologize and he's like, okay, you're good, I'm heading home. Oh dear.
Oh yeah, the main character, the usual main characters were also here. They kind of did stuff.
Yeah, but...
Alright, character time, so yeah, story is incredibly aimless and not very centered on something. And I feel like that's the biggest weakness of the movie, is that it has no idea. It has an idea on what it wants to do, but it has no idea how to execute it.
Yeah, kinda.
Where it wants to be alien horror movie, apocalypse movie, sci-fi movie, all at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know. What's weird is, like, I can think of a lot of things wrong with this movie. I have a hard time, like, putting into words what I did like about it, but I actually like the movie quite a, like, I thought it was pretty...
Yeah.
I don't dislike this movie. I'm just having trouble putting into words why.
Okay, let's go over some of the characters and see if that helps. So, one of the few times we can have a side Pokemon on the thing, someone really wanted us to like Munchlax before Gen 4 came out.
I'll admit, Munchlax is pretty darn funny in this movie. Just, even if it...
Like, every damn scene he's in is just like, I'm just perplexed by you.
Literally, it feels like they basically were like, we ran out of ideas for Team Rocket for things to do with Team Rocket, but we need more Team Rocket screen time. Here, we'll have this Pokemon do it. do silly stuff.
Here, we need to have some Gen 4 representation. XD didn't do enough with Munchlax. Let's do some more with Munchlax.
But, like, I guess, like, what I mean is, like, he just serves, like, the same role in the movie that Team Rocket usually does, or they just have some random side plot that has nothing to do with anything, and it's just for goofy shenanigans.
Yeah.
But honestly, he's, like, quite a bit funnier than Team Rocket is in this movie.
Yeah, he pretty much steals most of the comedy scenes.
Yeah.
The jumping 50 feet part still makes me question a few things.
You're 10 speed. How? Does he learn, like, bounce or fly or something?
I don't actually know if he learns bounce.
Well, if he learns bounce, then it explains it, I guess.
I don't think he does. Otherwise, that'd be freaking horrifying to see a Snorlax jump 50 feet in the air and then come crashing down. I think I'd see that more in the anime if it was.
Your end has come, child. Prepare yourself. Pika?
Speaking of, the comedy of this movie is either either B+ or D.
It's very mixed.
It's like every Pokemon's comedy rolled into one, where it's like it's either really good and you remember it, or you want it to be over already and it's just started 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
It's either the comedy equivalent of Munchlax jumping 50 feet, or the comedy equivalent of Brock hitting on someone. Those are the ranks. There is nothing in between.
Speaking of which, shout out to Sid for somehow being the only character whose name I remember, probably because his name is Sid. And for him basically just being Brock again.
Brock who likes food.
Brock who likes food, and one girl in particular instead of all of them. He just likes the one girl that Brock doesn't.
Pretty much, yeah.
Max.
I guess we already kind of went over Tori,
Brock.
didn't we?
Max just sassed Brock. Brock just hit on things.
Yeah.
May just kind of made sassy comments.
And had the best passport picture.
Yeah. None of them really did anything important to the plot at all.
That's how Pokemon side characters usually go, honestly. Unless you're the main character of that movie, you don't really get much screen time.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're named Ash, and even then, Ash kind of just goes with everything in this movie. I guess we kind of already went over Tori, didn't we?
Yeah.
Where it's like I can see where they were doing with him. It's a cool concept. I don't think they executed it quite properly.
Yeah, it wasn't quite there.
But it's like, it's an interesting concept. They at least tried.
Yeah.
The plus one Minun exist.
They're adorable.
They're Pikachus. Of course they're adorable.
True.
They're Pikachus that are supposed to be a best friends forever. Of course they're adorable.
Yeah. But
I'm pretty sure the only Pikachu that's not adorable is Emolga because PTSD owners. Other side characters?
Glasses laptop girl.
Yeah. I forgot her name.
I feel like she did a lot of stuff, but I can't remember any of the stuff she actually did.
She mostly just planned things. She was the planner
She was
type.
the idea girl, I guess.
Yeah, she was just idea girl.
She was cool, I liked her. Whatever
Yeah.
her name was.
Yeah, Tori's dad, Dr. Lung, I think? Lund? Lund?
Dr. Lung.
I said Lund.
Yeah,
I think
sounded like
his
you
name
said Dr.
is.
Lung. Ah, yes! I am a doctor that breathes!
Hello, I breathe like you humans.
How do you do, fellow humans?
Him? Kind of there?
You didn't really do that much, honestly.
Yuko?
She kind of just...
She kind of just
Dr. Lung,
techno-babbles.
except she just techno-babbles and then... kind of just...
It's honestly weird where she's the one that has more screen time. I think as a kid, I thought she was Tori's mom because she's shown so much. But then it's like, she's just the assistant. Why isn't that just Tori's dad? Why do we have the assistant character instead of the person who could connect with Tori a bit more? Huh.
Yeah, I guess there's Sid's,
other character,
guy.
other friend, Raish, I think his name was. He's the guy with the Blaziken.
He's kind of just
The
guy who has-
discount rival guy who just randomly shows up and then is friends with everyone.
And he had a Blaziken, and this Blaziken did some stuff, but he didn't.
And he
really
also
really
had
do something.
sisters. They did things.
They were bystanders. To be frank, they were just bystanders.
Speaking of bystanders, Team Rocket.
Yeah, they had like...
Munchlax really did just replace them, didn't he?
They had like a couple of sort of funny, witty comments, and otherwise they just were that funny, honestly.
And it's also just kind of funny that they were just left powering the thing, even though everyone left.
Yeah.
Deoxys? Either of them? It's what the movie's named after. We barely talked about it, except just alien plot in the plot summary. Deoxys looks cool, does some
really
cool
It
things.
does some cool, like, the way it's animated is actually quite cool. Like, I like what they do with, like, the arms turning into different
Yeah.
things. It's
And
very
also
cool
how
to
he's
watch it
switching
do
into,
stuff.
like, the attack, defense, and speed forms constantly.
Yeah, all they do a lot of cool
Kind
stuff
of wish
with it in
that it
terms
actually
of,
worked like that in the game, but I know why. It doesn't.
It's very cool in terms of, like, how they animated it and the action kind of stuff it did. Otherwise, it kind of just, like, I have a thing to do for the plot. Does the thing for the plot.
It at least does it better than other legendaries we've seen.
Yeah.
This still feels like a Deoxys movie instead of whatever the fuck Entei was.
Like, in terms of how it outside of it being really cool, it is just kind of serviceable, in my opinion. It did what it was supposed to do, and it did it all right.
Yeah.
It's an all right character.
Animation.
Deoxys is cool. Nothing else really stood out to me that much, honestly.
But Crazy's a lot smaller than I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
Where it's like he crashes into something and I'm just expecting like a huge giant crater, and then it's like a truck was destroyed, and I'm like, I expect you to be much longer than that.
There was a plot point that I was like, well, that's really contrived, and now I can't remember what it is. There was a really contrived plot point at some point, and we were both like, well, that's really contrived.
Oh right, the Pokeball thing.
Oh yeah,
where they're like, even the Pokeballs won't open, and I'm like,
what, do your Pokeballs need cell service?
which is weird, because usually when I see that in Pokemon, it's the opposite thing, where the Pokeballs are turned off by something.
It really makes no sense at all, and it's very contrived.
It also doesn't make any sense in any other movie.
Like, it legitimately made more sense in the Latios and Latios movie when Ash just forgot his Pokeballs.
Yeah.
That just made more sense.
Yeah, I think they just were like, we have enough Pokemon to deal with. We don't want them throwing out like 50 of them and figuring out and just beating the shit out of Deoxys and Rayquaza with them all.
Yeah.
So they were like, Pokeball's not functioning because power's out. Even though that's not how it works, because they can be in the middle of the fucking bumfuck nowhere in Jaraki and it still works.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
it's like if you can get cell service out there, then you can get cell service from the next town over here.
yeah. So we say it's middle of the road. Where are we putting it then? Like, it easily beats movie 3 because it's a legendary that knows how to use its legendary properly.
Yeah.
So let's go to the list and figure out what we even have, where it's like...
better than Celebi.
I'd say it is. Celebi was kind of...
Yeah.
Celebi somehow had even less of a plot.
Yeah. This did have moments where I was like, oh, that was neat.
And at least tried to do something, like, really interesting. I say that like the Professor Oak thing isn't interesting from Celebi.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if this beats Latios and Latias. Honestly, I'm kind of confused if it even beats Latios and Latias.
I kind of feel like the plot... I almost feel like the plot works a little better in this movie, but...
Maybe?
But Latios and Latias, like... but has better emotional moments, I feel like.
Yeah, where it's like you at least they actually like interact. By the time we're flying around with the legendaries, it doesn't really make sense. Doesn't really have any payoff for flying around with the legendaries. Except for the first Deoxys flight. Meanwhile, this one is like, we need a way to not have Tori die from falling to his death. And Rayquaza's there because he forgave the Deoxys. I don't know if this beats Heroes or not.
I don't feel it. I was going to put it higher, but now I've talked it through. I'm like, I kind of feel like it doesn't. Kind of feel like it doesn't go up there.
So does it go? So it goes between Heroes and Forever then?
I guess so.
It's very aimless, which is its biggest issue. And there's not much... I remember loving this movie as a kid, and I'm like... I don't get it anymore. Or it's like, it's at least decent. It's a decent watch, but it's like... What would... This is a movie that just had a lot of good ideas and then didn't really fall through with any of them. I think it's just too stretched thin on plot points.
Yeah. I like how we were like, it's pretty middle of the road, and then we put it in the bottom quarter. Well, not quite. Almost the bottom, just above the bottom quarter.
Yeah, we say that, but the top 3 are actually like really good ones. Like like 2000 is the first middle of the road one. It's still not near the bottom.
Honestly, there's like the great ones, there's like the 3 great ones, the 3 decent ones, the mediocre one, and the kind of bad one.
Yeah, so, yeah, so list so far from bottom to top: Spell the Unknown, Celebi Voice of the Forest, Destiny Deoxys, Latios and Latias, Power of 2000, Jirachi Wishmaker,
Power of 2000.
First movie, and Mewtwo Returns.
Mewtwo is still dominating the list.
I don't see that lasting long, considering what's next. There are non-Pokemon fans that love Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. You have a previous Lucario simp as one of the people here.
Oh, who could that be? I don't know what you're talking about.
And you have a person who's always liked Lucario anyway. who's always had him at least in the top 20 of the Diamond and Pearl Pokemon. Yeah, I don't see I don't know if I see it beating Mewtwo Returns. I definitely have an idea of it beating Mewtwo Strikes Back. Have it beating first movie. Like, this one has been one that I've kept my eye on the whole marathon, where I'm like, it might be you at the top. Like, I've been looking at it the whole marathon, and I'm like, it's going to be in the top 3, no questions asked, pretty much. Like, I don't see it going low anywhere. Low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's Destiny Deoxys. I feel like as this review went on, we got more and more negative.
Now we're like, it was pretty alright!
And then we really started thinking about it, then we were like...
Like, you kept saying, like, middle, and I kept being like, but I kept being like, but it's middle of the road, not mid. Over time, I kind of going like, actually, yeah, it is kind of mid.
Yeah, I feel like when we really think about it, it's like, what did this movie actually do? Like, not what it had the idea to do, what did it actually do?
It looks neat. It looked pretty neat.
That I still think the king of looking pretty neat is 2000. And 2000 had
really
super
neat.
cool Lugia part.
That one looks really neat and has a cool moment for Team Rocket. So
yeah, that's the Deoxys. See you guys next time for what's probably in the top 3. Lucario and the Mystery of Mew's next.
What?
Anything else?
No. Go away.